All right, what up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of KOS Knowledge of Self. So,
What up?
yeah,
What up? What up? How we doing today? We good? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How
Is
about
it? I'm
you?
good. Was it raining coming down the Cajon Pass? Was
Mm-hmm.
it snowing?
No, not snowing, but give us some time.
Is
Probably
it?
around tonight, possibly.
Is it? How's the drive up there when it's raining? Is it scary? Be honest.
No, not really. I mean, it all depends. When it comes down to if you know how to drive, unfortunately, for a majority of people at the high desert, they don't drive.
Have you seen a car fall off the cliff? I hope not. That's scary. That would scare me. That's kind of like the end of
No,
the world kind of
but
vibe.
I want to say a week or two ago, it was a bad accident.
Mm.
And it was a big pile up.
Good.
And
Dear Californians or whatever you call them, learn how to drive in the rain. Damn it.
yeah, and there's a lot of people that are either in a rush or just don't put chains in their cars, especially when it's snowing.
Be responsible if it's snowing. Put some chains in your car.
So yeah, I mean, I saw I was looking through a couple of the links. I'm like, wow, that's bad. And it was on a day where I was debating whether I should go make a trip down the hill, but I knew the reason why I had vacation and took that day off is because to avoid traffic. And sure enough, I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stay home.
Good,
and unfortunately, that's when I end up getting sick. So.
Oh man, you should have went out and did something. You should have made a snow angel in the snow. Maybe that could have prevented you from getting sick.
Yeah.
Almost. Well, what episode are we on? 7?
Yes, we are on episode 7.
Damn. How do you feel that we've been doing so far? I guess because it's just me and you today.
I mean, we've been progressing. I mean, as far as myself, I mean, it's always been as far as how I speak, how I present myself. So I think from our pilot episode, we made some progress.
We made a lot of progress in the pilot episode. Did you cut your hair because of the appearance of the recording of KOS? I'm just giving you a hard time. I miss it.
No, I mean, for me, I know if this is what's happened in the past. I mean, and D-Will kind of joked about it a little bit. A little bit backstory to that, where I know if I didn't cut my hair, it was gonna be wild again, and it was gonna be to the point where I'm not gonna cut it.
You should have just let it grow out and see what happens.
And I thought about it, but also during that time when I didn't cut it, it's hard to maintain it.
Oh yeah, long hair is hard to maintain.
And with my hair, it gets, of course, knotted and it gets tangled, and it's very painful to untangle.
There's been times where I'll see debris in your hair, and I'm just like, should I tell him? Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'm just messing with you. I just wanted to be funny.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah,
shit gets in this hair too. But no, I think we're doing a good job, and I want to thank everybody who's been watching, all of our guests who've been on with us. Thank you guys for giving us your insight and wisdom, your perspectives on life. It's really cool. I've enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure Vector's enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, good to see the perspective on our guests as well too. So.
Oh yeah. So thank you guys. Shout out for being a part of the journey of KOS. We appreciate you guys. But what we discussing today?
Well, I mean,
R. Kelly. I'm just kidding. You want to throw that out there? See what we're gonna say.
People act like this is brand new news, but I'm going on a tangent.
Yeah. Well, can I say something real quick about R. Kelly? I don't know. I just wanted to say this. It's been going on forever, but what's scary is the fact that he had a birthday celebration the other day, and apparently there was women wanting to be taken by him. So I think that's what's more alarming than the whole R. Kelly situation itself, is that women want to indulge in R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Which is, it's shocking, but it's not shocking.
It's also sad at the same time. It's wow, okay.
And then it's my whole thing is this. I'm not taking away from anything or blaming nobody, but I told my friend Cassandra this, and I say it respectfully, and I'm just going to say it. It's one thing if women were totally against it and bashed him, but at the same time, you got other group of women who want that, who want to be part of that, and that's what scares me more.
Yeah, and also how his name is starting to be trendy now, and now his streams are up. I'm that's that's a goddamn agenda already.
I mean, hey, I mean, if it works, it's a marketing plan. I guess anything and everything's a marketing plan these days.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say about R. Kelly. I hope I hope you get what you deserve. No, I hope you get what you deserve. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of speculations, a lot of rumors out there right now, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
damn, really? I don't know.
Yeah. But man. But something that's always been in the back of my mind is just maintaining your individuality,
Mm,
even amongst my peer pressure from just family and friends, and just from like my personal experience, and just something that I mean I always struggle with, like even in my early teens, preteens, like I mean just being something that I know internally didn't feel right, and I know that wasn't within myself, and
mm,
I know that wasn't myself.
I feel you.
So eventually, like I mean, I want to say like my early 20s, mid 20s,
Mm.
like that's when I started to like just be aware, like no, it's like I finally put my foot down. It's like no, I can't do this. Like this doesn't like you. Do you ever had a feeling like where your body doesn't feel right, where it feels physically sick
Mm.
because it's rejecting something,
Oh yeah.
and especially emotionally, where you're like, I can't do this, like this, where you like, I'm not
It's
doing
like your
this.
body shuts down in a sense because it's like mentally speaking, you're trying to find your own individuality within your family, like you said, but then you have everybody trying to tell you, no, you can't do that. That goes against what we as your older people, family members think is right for you. So then you eternally are trying to digest it all, but you have your own dialogue going on in your head, like, no, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, it's like you break down because for me, I think like at 1920 is when I went through like a depressed phase where was working a regular job and on my break I would
Yeah.
be eating and I would be crying, like eating my burrito and crying because I worked at a Mexican fast food restaurant and I would cry on my break because I wasn't satisfied. Something in me
Oh yeah.
wasn't satisfied. I mean, cool, the paychecks, obviously you're young, you're 19, 20, you're trying to make some bread.
Hmm.
But then I think as you mature and get older, the idea of who you are starts to come into play.
Hmm.
It's like I'm really here from let's just say 9 in the morning to 2 or 3 p.m. and I got a 15-minute break. I'm eating, but I'm crying. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah, and then plus with also the other facts, like why am I doing here? I'm like, this is a waste of my time as far
Mm.
as like in whatever, as far as like the job, and as far as like where you're like, no, I need to do something more too.
When did you? How did you go about creating your not I guess finding your own not I think we have a sense of our own identity, but I guess how did you go about sticking the foot in the ground saying this is me. This is what VECtore does. This is who I am, what I do, what I am. This is how I breathe, this is how I work, this is how I function, this is how I breathe. Accept it or I'm not going to be around.
No, I guess to simply put it, like for me, it just one day I had enough. I just put my foot down,
Mm,
and I said, you know what, this is me. This is how I'm gonna dress whatever I want. I'm not gonna be driven by trends.
mm,
I mean, I'm definitely not gonna be driven by fashion. I
mm.
think that was like the the basis of what started it all too. Because it's, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, when I was a teenager, like my mom was driven by like fashion and just like the name brands. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is cool. You're supposed to wear this.
Mhm,
And as I got older, like I got turned off by it.
mm.
And then I know it's like, my mom was still doing it. It's like, oh, you need to wear this, like, so you can get girls. And in the back of my mind, I was like, well, if I'm gonna wear this just to get the girl, then one, I'm attracting the wrong person.
Mm.
Two, I'm selling the false pretense
Yep.
of something materialistic.
Yep.
And so with that, just serving the basis of that, that's when I drew that line as far as like, no, what, I'm not gonna do this. And then also where it came to what I liked, what I feel like more related to myself, like as far as my true self. And that's
Mm.
just wearing what I want to wear. Um Also my appearance as far as like, a good example was my hair, like my fro. So I want to say let's say when I was like 18, 19. Um, I just decided to just grow my hair out. I wasn't used to working at the graveyard shift. I was getting tired. I was also making bread, and then I just one day I just had that curiosity, like, you know what, I'm just gonna grow my hair out.
Mm.
And then I mean, just from close friends, I mean, their response was no mainly positive, but on my mom's side, that was
Mm.
a different story. I mean, she didn't really. She was
Because your
like,
mom's El Salvadorian, right? See,
mhm,
my mom's not. My dad is. So a lot of my dad's side of the family was very against it
mhm.
about me growing my hair out too. That's the ironic part because we share a lot of similarities.
For as far as like our ethnicity, it's some
Yeah,
things are taboo. So like for
mm,
the audience, they're kind of like, what? It's like
yeah.
some things are taboo, but
My dad's side of the family did not like it at all. They didn't like the fact that I wanted to grow my hair out or grow dreads at all. They did not like it.
yep, especially my mom. I mean, she made comments here and there like, "Oh, I don't like your hair." I mean, me being naive around like that age
Mm.
too, I was like, "Oh, okay." But as I got older and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna let my hair grow," and just hearing like, my mother's comments, I'd be like, "Well, this is what I like, this is what I'm
But
doing."
she's like, I don't like that for you, Mom. Thank you for being okay with my hair. I appreciate it, Mom.
Yeah, and then eventually it got to the point where it was almost demanding, where it like sometimes she would throw like a couple things like, "Oh, just let me know when you're ready for a haircut." I was like, "I'm not getting a haircut."
Mm.
And then I mean, there was been a couple times like where it's been heated arguments. Another good example was I'm gonna say a couple years ago. Um, I brought a dashiki shirt.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Tell everybody about the story.
So a little bit about the story, like of course for some that don't know, half El Salvadorian and half black. Um, Not to go too much into the personal aspect. So again, just brought a dashiki shirt. I mean, brought home. My pops. I mean, he didn't mind. He didn't say anything. He thought it was a cool shirt. But I remember one morning I was getting ready for my day job, and I can already tell, like, my mom, something was bothering her. But with her attitude, it's to the point where, like, look, I already know you're upset. Just say it
Mm.
and say it to my face now. Don't hold it in.
Mm.
But unfortunately, like, she held it in. And so by the time, like, it exploded. So what immediately shuts me off in my aspect, like, if you're not going to talk to me in a grown up, then
Mm.
you already lost a battle. Unfortunately, with my mom, she doesn't see that way. And I mean, I understand, like, the parents, for them, we're always going to be
We're always gonna be the baby.
the
We're
babies.
the
Like,
baby.
a good example was like I seen a meme where like this is how your mom's always going to look at you, and it showed like a 1 or 2 year, but like with a full grown beard.
I think well, I was gonna say something, but I slipped my mind. No, okay, yeah. Going back to the conversation of how grown-ups talk, how parents talk to kids, and how I think in other individuals talk to kids. I'm a firm believer. Going back to what you said, if you treat a kid like a kid, he's gonna be a kid. But if you were to conversate with a child as a grown adult, that kid will have a whole nother perspective on life and just conversate on a whole different level. So like all my little nephews and all my little athletes and clients, I always try to like talk to them like if they were like I respect them as if they were my age
Hmm.
because I want that understanding that me and you, yeah, there's a big age difference, but I'm not looking at you younger than myself. You teaching me something now, so I'm gonna respect you like a grown ass adult
Right.
because you could teach me something right now. And I think parents, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a parent. I can't, but I feel like my mom was the same way. There was never once I moved out of my mom's and got my own little spot,
Hmm.
I think I started able to create more of my identity more and more because I remember when I used to live with my mom.
That is cute,
Oh
right there.
yeah, shoot, I love my mom. Um, she would get always upset at me when I didn't like clean the dishes, and I never did because I just I didn't like the fact how she went about it. It was more of like it wasn't so much this is what you have to do in society. It was
It
more of
was
like
a
it was a
demand.
demand. It was like a discipline. And I totally understand now how she went about it and why she went about it. But I'm not a parent. But now that I'm on my own, like I enjoy it thoroughly cleaning the house because it's my responsibility
Mm-hmm.
now. Prior, it was more of like, I mean, I guess it still was my responsibility as a child, but it's different when you're the adult in the situation now, because you're just like, now I don't leave. If I leave if I leave the house and there's a dish dirty, I get anxious. I'm like, I gotta clean that
And
shit.
other things like, I mean, it's gonna smell. You're gonna attract roaches and other things. So
And
yeah,
as we get older, we realize that. And I think for any individual, any young individual watching this, particularly young individual, men or women or whoever, don't be afraid to really discover yourself at a younger age. I feel like a lot of us 19, 20-year-olds, I think for me, from the age of 22, because 21 was fun. I enjoyed my 21 year. When I was 21, I had a good time when I was 21. But 22 till now, I'm gonna be 27 in March. 22 to 26, barely now. I feel like I'm barely escaping that awkward phase of trying to really discover who the fuck I am.
mm-hmm.
So don't think that don't think creating your own identity when you have parents or your family trying to keep you in a box. It's going to take time to develop your character, to develop your characteristics, your I guess your morals, your morality,
Oh yeah, definitely.
your how you view in the life. Like Noah James told me this yesterday. He goes, the first 20 years of your life, everything's out of your control.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with
You know,
that.
you're not thinking for your own. Your parents are thinking for you. So now going back to how we feel as younger adults when our outside world, our family try to influence us to be certain ways.
Right, because you're groomed to be like, all right, this is what you're supposed to do. So when you go out to the world, you're supposed to act a certain way. And but I mean, unfortunately, like just by experience, you're being like, it's like don't
That doesn't
change.
look normal. And you start running amok and destroying things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very trying to discover yourself and break the mold from the outside influence of your family who want you to be a certain way is a very beautiful, awkward, ugly, anxious, depressing journey because you want to be yourself so bad,
Oh
but
yeah.
there's that, like I said, there's this eternal doubt, like,
There's that doubt, that eternal
yeah,
conflict,
uh-huh.
a lot of
Like
conflict.
it's like you're defying, it's
Man.
like defiance against your family's upbringing because everybody is expecting and anticipating you to be a certain style, and all of a sudden you come out, you got either a fro or me, you got locks. You're not working a steady 9 to 5. You started your own business. You're rapping now, like you're doing your own podcast. I'm pretty sure, like a lot of our family members prior to this, they would have never ever in their wildest dreams thought of doing something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like what you I'm the oldest grandkid out of my cousins, other grandkids from my grandpa. And I took that upon myself to really say I'm not gonna do anything anyone else is doing in my family. If
Mm-hmm. That
I'm
was
a
me too.
Yeah, so if I'm gonna be the first to come out, I'm gonna mess up my life so bad, but in a good way, not in a bad way. I'm gonna mess up my life so bad just to prove, not to them, but just to, not to prove to anybody. I guess more to show that there is more options than being like what the whole family needs you to be. Like you don't need to be like your uncle, dad, aunt. Share, take the values from them, but you don't need to live your life through their okay. Yeah,
Yeah, like I mean, you don't necessarily need to have their approval. And I think that's what's another thing what I was in conflict with myself because I mean there was always times like especially during like my early teens, early 20s, like I always sought their approval.
mhm.
Always. And eventually it got to the point where like it's like know what? Like I'm X amount this age, like it's like I'm just gonna go and do what I need to do. And there's been like, of course, like I mean, still to this day, like my mom would say, like, "Well, where are you going?" And of course, I would reply, like, "Don't worry about it."
She
I mean,
gonna slap you, bro. She gonna be like, she gonna beat you up. My mom would, at least, if I told her that. Not anymore though.
no,
She'd be like, "What do you say?" I'm like, "Nothing, mom. I love you. Go home. I'm gonna go.
no,
Please.
like I
I'm gonna
mean,
go home."
I'm super bold. But with me, like, be like, don't worry about unless it's like where I know I'm gonna go, like, further down, like maybe like or out of state, like then that's a
Mm.
different story.
Oh
Then
yeah.
I would tell her like, hey, I'm gonna be in Nevada or I'm gonna be late because I'm going to Los Angeles. Like in that aspect, like I do understand. But like, I mean, if it's like local, then I like look, I mean, I'll get home when I get home.
How would you tell? How would I guess? Let's just say we got a conversation with a 18-year-old right now.
Mhm.
or six. No, I think 15 to 16, because I feel like that's the age where a lot of kids really try to influence other peers
Right.
to be a certain way. Like, let's just say we got a straight edge kid who's never done anything out of it. His mom has him fearing certain things. Like, that's how my mom was. I'm thankful for that. My mom installed a lot of fear into my life, a lot of good fear and a lot of bad fear. Fear of like going out. My mom installed a lot of fear of doing certain things, such as doing this, because
Yep. Same here.
it's like
Same here.
the reality and the possibility of you making and sustaining a life off of this type of stuff
Yep.
is kind of
Yep.
the reality is like this small.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I'm gonna say, like anything else, a 9 to 5, like the reality of you sustaining a certain lifestyle is still that small, in my opinion. So what would you tell, like, what would we say to a 16-year-old who wants to do what he wants to do? Let's just say he's a skateboarder and he wants to be one of the greatest skateboarders alive, but yet his friends are peer pressuring him to do other stuff, but yet he's starting to create his own imagery and his own certain self. What would you tell him? What kind of guidance would you give him?